So let's talk about that little device you're probably holding in your hand right now, or at the very least, it's super close by. We all kind of know it's a distraction, right? But what if it's doing something sneakier? What if it's actively draining your brain power even when you're not even touching it? Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, don't you? You're trying to read a book or get some work done, but your mind just feels scattered. It's like you've got 20 browser tabs running in the background of your brain and you just can't focus on the one that's right in front of you.
Well, it turns out that scattered feeling, it's not just in your head. It's a real thing, and it's a direct result of the digital world we're all living in, an environment that's basically training our brains for constant distraction.
I mean, just think about it. You've got TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. It's a never-ending fire hose of quick, flashy, super engaging content. This constant diet of rapid-fire information is literally rewiring our brains. We're getting conditioned for these quick hits, not for deep, sustained focus.
And what's the main delivery system for all this? Yep, our phones. On average, get this, smartphone owners pick up or check their phones 85 times a day. 85! It's the first thing we look at in the morning and the last thing we see at night. It's basically attached to us.
So we're constantly on our phones, constantly switching our attention from one thing to the next. What's that actually doing to the wiring inside our skulls? Well, the science here it's pretty fascinating, and honestly, a little bit unsettling.
So there's this really important idea called cognitive load theory. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your working memory, the part of your brain that juggles information right now, is like a computer's RAM. It's got a fixed, limited amount of space. And when you try to do too many things at once, you're splitting that limited resource, and just like an old computer, everything starts to slow down and lag. And the fallout from this is huge. Studies show this kind of digital multitasking pushes us into cognitive overload. We start processing information on a much shallower level, we make more mistakes, it gets harder for us to form strong, lasting memories, and our ability to just sit and focus, what they call sustained attention, it just tanks. And here's the kicker. We love to brag about being great multitaskers, but scientifically, it's not a thing. Our brains can't actually focus on two complex things at the exact same time. What we're really doing is switching our attention back and forth really, really fast. And every single one of those switches, no matter how quick, has a mental cost. It burns up a little bit of your brain's energy.
Okay, so using our phones is distracting. Shocker, right? We all knew that. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the problem is much sneakier and way more invisible? This is where things get really wild.
This is the big question from a really groundbreaking study. Forget about actively checking your texts or scrolling through feeds for a second. What if the mere presence of your phone, just sitting there on the table, silent, face down, is enough to drain your brain power? So researchers put this to the test. They had people come in and do some really tough brainy tasks. And what they found was incredible. The group that left their phones in a completely different room, they performed the best. The group that kept their phones in a pocket or a bag did worse. And the group with their phones sitting right there on the desk in front of them, they did the worst of all. The pattern here is just so clear, you can't miss it. It's a straight line. The closer your phone is to you, the less brain power you have available. If you want to be at your mental peak, your phone literally needs to be in another room. When it's on your desk, your brain is working with a serious handicap. You want to hear the really crazy part? This brain drain effect was the most powerful for the people who said they were the most dependent on their phones. So the more you feel like you need your phone, the bigger the mental hit you take just by having it near you. The irony is just, wow. This quote from the actual researchers sums it up perfectly. The main takeaway here is your phone doesn't have to buzz or light up to mess with you. Just its existence in your space is enough to take up some of your precious mental bandwidth. But how, right? How can an object you're not even touching, not even actively thinking about, have such a big effect on your brain? Well, the answer comes down to two different kinds of distraction. There's the obvious one, we all know, that little itch to check a notification. But then there's this hidden, much more tiring process going on in the background. It's the unconscious mental work your brain is doing just to not think about your phone. It's the effort of actively ignoring it. See, our phones are the hub of our entire lives. Work, friends, family, news, everything. So our brain has learned that the phone is an object of huge personal importance. When it's nearby, it creates this powerful, gravitational pull on our attention. And our poor brain has to burn real, actual energy to fight that pull and stay on task.
So this isn't just some weird little fact for a science journal.
This constant, low-level brain drain has massive consequences for how we learn, how we work, and even how we think about the world.
When our brain power is handicapped like this, the effects are real. For students, it can mean worse grades. In the office, it means lower productivity and more screw-ups. But even deeper than that, it pushes our thinking to be more lazy and intuitive, instead of the hard logical reasoning we need to solve tough problems. We literally understand things less deeply.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty bad, I know. But the good news, the really good news, is that the science doesn't just show us the problem, it points to a solution that's almost shockingly simple. That's it. It's not about turning your phone off or putting it face down on the table. The study was crystal clear. The only thing that completely gets rid of this brain drain effect is real, physical distance. So here's the game plan. First, you have to be intentional about it. Carve out specific times for phone separation. When you really, truly need to focus, whether you're working, studying, or just having a real conversation with someone, put your phone in another room. Out of sight, out of mind, and bam, your full brain power comes back online. And hey, while you're at it, turning off all those useless notifications helps a ton too. So the science is clear. Your phone, just by being near you, is draining your brain. The question this all leaves us with is a really personal one. Now that you know this, what are you going to do about it?